Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Stories Worth Telling. I've got this amazing group with me today, Culture Media Productions. This is a three-man show, and so we've got Rob and Jay Espitia, and we've got Andrew Money Stroh with us. How you guys doing?
Doing
Good,
awesome,
Patrick.
man.
Thanks for having us, man.
Absolutely. I'm
Yes,
excited
thank
for
you,
this
brother.
one. Man, you guys are incredible. From the time that I met you guys till, just our constant connections and stuff like that, you guys are on a whole new level. So I want to kind of get my piece out with that and just say that I'm thankful for how you guys are, how you guys operate, how you guys support not only each other, but your clients, the people you connect with. It's kind of the same thing that I've built my entire business on. I think we've talked about that. But to do and have this understanding and this vision at such a young age is incredible. So props to you guys and what you guys are doing.
Thank you, Patrick.
Dude,
that
thank
means
you,
a lot,
man.
man.
Appreciate it,
Seriously.
brother.
Yeah, for sure. Want to give a big shout out to the people that are watching live, people that have already shared this video. I know that there was a lot of anticipation, both in the Facebook group, people that I connect with on a business level and stuff like that. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you are watching this live, just do a hashtag live to let us know. If you're catching this on the replay, definitely still great value. Do not fast forward at all because there's going to be a lot of great content in here. So, um, you know, guys, I know that it's a three-man group, but you guys operate kind of like with one brain, and one vision, and that's pretty cool because you guys are always on point with everything. But how did Culture Media come to be?
Yeah, great question, Patrick. And I mean, it's a big story for sure. And it all started just last year, January.
Man,
But yeah, I know we all want to chip in on this conversation right here. So, Rob, let's have you start it off if that's all right.
Yeah, of course. Just like Andrew said, Patrick, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. We definitely have individual stories for sure that led us to be what essentially what we built together. Just like Andrew said, the experience in itself started completely last year. At the beginning of the year, making videos is not anything that was new to us. We've been helping each other film videos for quite some years now. But we each had our own individual reasons as to why we did it together. For me personally, one of the reasons, I decided to join/found Culture Media was the actual passion that was behind video production, and furthermore, the results and the impact, for lack of a better term, the impact that happened after we put our brains together as one and decided to serve someone else together. But my history and my background that brought me into what we're doing and into entrepreneurship was actually in real estate before. So one of the industry that I was in before Culture Media was in real estate, and I sold real estate. I was very successful my first year, but I still felt like something was missing and that I wasn't impacting people at the level that I knew I could. And partnering up with these two guys here is what allowed me to do that. So that's a little bit of history on my side of things.
that's awesome. It's actually incredible that you would leave a thriving industry because of a lack of fulfillment. And I think that's something that's often something that people don't realize until maybe it's too late when they have to start over, or because they've been stuck and boxed in for such a long time. So that takes a lot of guts to be able to do that, man. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yes.
Jay, how about you, man? How did how did this dream come true for you?
Oh, I think now you can hear you. Jay, can you hear us?
Can you hear us? Uh-oh.
Maybe not.
Maybe the audio went out again.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I think it went out. Andrew, maybe you want to step in, and maybe Jay will figure it out here shortly.
Yeah, so exactly, man. Yeah, so when it comes to last year, man, it was bringing like the company together. It was actually a really funny story. So similar to Rob's, like we were all in our own industry and we were all filming each other like for our own specific industry. And after just, the demand kept growing and our videos just kept getting better and better, everyone just kind of was like, yo, can you guys make some videos for us? Like, we like this. You guys are doing awesome. And so it really grew out of demand. And so we were like, okay, we need to get together and we need to make something out of this. So It was really awesome coming together, and it's cool to see it grow out of demand.
Okay, dude. I love the fact that you found something that you are so passionate about, and it shows that you guys take a lot of pride in what you do. I think it's hard sometimes for people to have that understanding and that compassion and the vision piece. That's oftentimes missing for a lot of people who are entrepreneurs. And guys, bear with us. This is the first time that we've had this many people on here, so it looks like Jay may be having some audio issues and stuff like that, and that happens, right? That's real world stuff. So
part of the gig.
Yeah, and we just kind of roll with the punches and whatnot, so we'll get it figured out. So we're gonna go ahead and have Jay exit and see if we can come back in and see if that helps it, and that way we can get his side of the story as well. But I love that you guys don't just do video work, right? Because it's so easy to turn around and say, "Oh, I'm a videographer and I can edit and showcase stuff," but you guys go in, right? I mean, you guys do so many different elements, and I want to give you guys the opportunity to kind of talk about those individually here without maybe taking your thunder and everything. But as you guys have starting to evolve your business, as you guys are starting to grow, your name is starting to get out there, you're working with a lot more businesses and things like that. Just in your own personal growth, what are some of the things that you guys have learned, as business owners yourselves now?
I think I'm back.
Great
You're
question,
back, Jay?
Patrick.
Yep. Awesome.
Okay, welcome back.
Patrick, would you mind maybe repeating that question one more time, just so we're on the same page, and then getting a little bit more influence on everybody's side?
Absolutely. So as you guys have been helping a lot of business owners and learning a lot about your industry and other people's industries, how has that helped you guys grow as business owners?
Yeah, no, awesome question. Start them off, Jay.
Yeah, no, Patrick, amazing question, brother. Thank you for asking that. That's definitely, a huge question, but I feel like one of the biggest ways that, we've been able to impact, other business owners and to be able to learn from that experience has been, just by actually getting in there and doing, the work and having the conversations that, are necessary to do that, and, reaching out to people on social media that maybe you don't know. And, we all have these fears perhaps inside of, maybe they don't know us, they might act a certain way or not. But as business owners, we all have to make sure that we are, even if we're a little introverted on the inside, we have to kind of force that other side of us to come out and to make these connections, because that's the only way that we're going to be able to help out more people.
Absolutely. Yeah. Take miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? Little Wayne Gretzky.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. No, that's cool. You guys have been able to capture really the essence, the story really is what you guys do, and so when people ask me oh, what do they do for videography and stuff, I'm like, it's so much more than that, because you guys help with marketing, you guys help with growth, you guys help with a lot of online presence and how to improve that, and that itself is people have businesses just for those things, so it's kind of all inclusive for what you guys do. Obviously, being evolved and being able to adapt and roll with punches, even with the COVID stuff and all these things. So what are some of the biggest things that you guys have had to overcome and hurdle to be able to get to this point where, you feel comfortable enough to be able to gauge maybe with somebody you've never met or worked with before, maybe somebody you don't know? How are you able to gauge with them so quickly to be able to share that story?
Yeah,
Oh man,
that's
that's
awesome.
beautiful question. Yeah. I know we're probably all thinking the same thing.
Yeah, right here.
But dude, I think that, to answer your question, the biggest challenge really that we've been able to overcome in order to keep helping people out is kind of that internal block that a lot of us as entrepreneurs we have, that I mean, real life stuff happens all the time. COVID, it is a huge example of that. We actually just had one of a family friends who their entire family actually got, the COVID situation. So they're all staying at home and, staying inside and stuff, but being able to yes, resonate and empathize with the situation that's going on, but also try to view the positive side of it. That, oh man, yes, it is challenging for a lot of businesses that have to shut down or have to transition to online, but it's also a huge opportunity for these businesses to transition to online. So many more people right now are being able to work from home. So many corporations out there are saying, yeah, just keep working from home even after all this is over. You guys keep working from home, and I think that's a very powerful change that is happening. So I think internally being able to, even though yes, real life stuff happens all the time, being able to view the positive side of it, that okay, this is happening for me, not to me, right? I think that's kind of the big mindset shift that has hit us over the past few months, that has propelled us to keep moving forward even throughout all these times.
Love it. I
I
love it.
love that. And if
Yeah,
I can build
Absolutely.
on that,
yeah,
if
please.
I
Yeah.
can build on that, yeah. So I love what you said, Jay. And one of the things that is also huge is just like knowing that when someone else has a problem and just knowing that you're able to solve it. It's easy to give, it's easy to just step in and be able to solve that problem for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love how you guys word everything, because you know that the way that you present yourself is your brand, and you guys know so well that how you present yourself is everything. And so normally sometimes I'm able to see the chat and stuff like that, and I can highlight and bring it up on the screen here. But I think that Nick Grants, thanks for being here, by the way, buddy.
Thanks, Nick.
He hit the nail on the head here. He says lots of value from culture media. And I think that what you guys are doing, the way that, because I tell you guys all the time, I think you guys are pioneering what you're doing. And a lot of it is maybe not necessarily from the film stuff, because a lot of people have cameras, a lot of people are doing the videography stuff, but it's the way that you are presenting yourselves, the way that you are taking care of people after the camera is done rolling, after the editing is done and they have the finished product. It goes beyond the camera, it goes beyond the filming. And I think that is why you guys are so important and so needed in this industry.
Wow. Thanks, Patrick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
so
man.
much, man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I would say to add to that, one of the reasons that that may show, and we're so glad that it does show, is that anybody who gets into business, they know that they're not in the landscaping business or the real estate business. They're in the relationship business.
Yes.
And that goes further than just between you and your prospect or your client. That goes with you and other entrepreneurs, everybody else in your local area, that collaboration instead of competition. So
Yes.
we're really glad that shows. Thank you for pointing that out.
Absolutely. And I think that's why we just get along so well, because we all have that same mentality in how we approach our business. So I know that you guys do such a great job of education. I really wanted to give you the opportunity to kind of highlight that stuff. I mean, gosh, I mean, all of you guys have had videos that, tell your story. I think Jay's story video that he shared with his story, I know that was a lot of work to go into that, but man, that touched so many people on so many different levels, and then Jay and Andrew, you guys, I'm sorry, Rob and Andrew, I mean, you guys are always showing these videos, and like I learn a lot just from watching your stuff, you know what I mean? And then the way that you interact with people, I learned that, so, and I think that there's so much to be taken away. So what I really want to do is give you guys that opportunity to kind of just showcase what you do in terms of how you help people. And I know you guys had a couple of different topics, so I'd like to start with Andrew. So tell us more, man. You seem to be this expert on growing social media. I know that I've spent a lot of time learning, and I'm thankful for the tidbits that you share with me. But tell us about this and let people know kind of maybe some of the things that they're missing out on.
Yeah, absolutely, Patrick. And I'm always happy to share my value with you, man.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. I just want to start off by saying one thing, and that's that we actually brought some free value for everyone. So we start some free templates to where you can script your own videos. And where you can find those is in our new Facebook group. So if you guys want to be a part of that, just go ahead and comment Culture Media Coaching down below, and we will get you guys those free templates after this video. So definitely worth it there if you guys want to start scripting your own videos.
What was the hashtag one more time?
What's that?
What was the hashtag again?
Oh yeah, hashtag Culture Media Coaching.
Perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and start that.
Awesome. Yeah, we will message everyone after this video is over. And we're gonna have also Rob sharing some great value on messaging as well too. But let's get it started. So the first thing that I also wanted to talk about was just some organic strategies that everyone here can implement to grow their social media, right? So we kind of use this term here at Culture Media called being the CEO of your social media. And what does that mean? So that means three things. So you have your C, which is the content. You always have to be posting content in one way or another on all social medias. So whether that's written content, video content, photo content, even posting to your stories is content that drives engagement as well. And all this is boosting the algorithm in the end. So always have to be posting content. That's the C. Then we move on to the E is engagement. So that means that you want to go on every social media platform. You want to be engaging with your friends' content and with your followers' content.
Very
So
important.
if you see, a sweet video, leave a comment, drop some emojis, leave your thoughts on the video, and just keep spreading that engagement across all of your friends. And that way, when it's time for you to post content, now everyone is like, okay, well, he left a comment on my video, on my photo. I want to leave a comment on his. And that just overall drives the engagement of your profile, and just really helps build your credibility, which in the end is the algorithm is saying, hey, this post has a lot of comments and a lot of likes. Let's keep promoting this post to more people, right?
Right.
So definitely stay engaging. Don't ever stop commenting. Don't ever stop reacting. On Facebook and LinkedIn, you can actually not just like it, not just love it, but you can react to it in multiple different ways.
Okay.
And what actually that tells the algorithms on LinkedIn and Facebook is that this post has a lot of different reactions. So then we want to promote this post to more people, right? So what does that mean for you? If you see a post that just has 10 likes, be the first one to leave a heart on it, or be the first one to leave a different reaction on it, and that'll drive the engagement as well.
Okay. Nice. I like it,
So
man.
yeah, that's awesome.
That is
And
awesome.
the last one
Great.
we have O, which is outreach. So content, engagement, and outreach. Outreach is basically just saying, getting in touch with your followers on a more personal level through the messages or through the DMs, through Messenger if you're on Facebook. And kind of what this does is this tells the platform. So Patrick, if I were to message you, let's say we just became friends and I shot you a message, that tells Facebook that you and I are brand new friends, but we're already chatting in the DMs. So now when I post a content next, post a piece of content next, it's going to show up at the top of your page.
Love it.
Because it's telling Facebook that we're best friends, right? So you do that across every single platform. Do that with your ideal prospects. Do that with people that you just add, and keep outreaching to them. Keep building the relationships, and you never know. Keep outreaching and ask for the sale through Messenger. Ask for the sale through the DMs, and you never know what can happen when you just keep asking for the sale when the time is right.
Love it, man. You just gave us so many different bits, for business owners, for people who are trying to stay on top. Big shout out right now to Delilah Alvarado. She runs a big Facebook group. You guys may already be part of it. COS Foodies, and always posting content. A lot of restaurants involved and stuff like that. And looks like that she's also did the hashtag Culture Media Coaching. So I think that you guys would be a great connection for sure. And she's just a powerhouse here in Colorado Springs. So definitely somebody great for you guys to connect with as well. She also has a heart of gold too. So
amazing.
Absolutely.
What's up, Delilah? We'll reach out, Delilah.
Thanks, Delilah.
Yeah, guys, that's pretty much what it means to be the CEO of your social media. Thank you for that, Patrick.
No, I love that, man. Thank you for that. I mean, that's a lot of great insight in just a short amount of time. And obviously, all of those, may require a little bit more, in-depth stuff. But just on the surface level, I think you probably already taught probably 90% of people more than what they know. So thank you. Cool. So Jay, let's talk about the different types of video content, man. I know that there's a lot of different things. I think your video that I learned quite a bit from recently was the macro versus micro content. But if you could touch base on that and just kind of tell us what else is out there, man.
Oh man, thank you, Patrick. Yeah, brother, that's a great question, and I'm glad that you were to find some value from that video that I put out. Essentially, yes, a lot of people, when they first start on social media, especially business owners, they're not as familiar with, okay, what do I put on? What kind of pictures should I share? What kind of videos should I put out? Should I be sharing people's posts? How should I run my social media? And we've seen this happen a lot, especially with, business owners that are just transitioning now to becoming on social media. They think, oh, I have a niece or a nephew or a son who is in high school. He can run my social media, right?
Right.
And although they're probably, not completely wrong about that, I'm sure, their nephew or niece that's in high school has a good understanding of it. There's still so much more that goes into it, especially when it comes to the type of content that you want to put out. Okay, because when you put content on your social media, you're essentially marketing yourself. That is, you are publishing ads on a magazine, you are putting commercial on the TV, right? That is what you're doing with your social media. So there are two main types of content out there, and you hit them on the dot right there, Patrick. There's macro content and there's micro content. Okay, so for the viewers that are watching right now, if you have a second, comment down below what you think those two types of content are. What does macro content sound like? What does micro content sound like? Okay, and I'll kind of sit there and hear. But for you, Patrick, I know that you had, checked out the video a little bit, and maybe before you even saw the video, what does that sound like to you, man? I'm just curious. What does micro and macro content sound like?
Well, I think, one is how often maybe you're plugging in some of the stuff, right? And those are things that you can come up with, whether it's resharing maybe a meme, or that's something that tells about your business, a selfie, so to speak. Whereas a macro content, that's going to be your big hitter. That's the one that you got to get in contact with Culture Media Productions to put together for you, so that way you can turn around and you can share that on your big platforms. That's the one that's going to be the storytelling. That's the one that's going to be engaging. That's the one that's going to hit the nail on the head, and basically tell everybody exactly what you do. Let me know if I'm wrong. I mean, I just learned that watching your video, man. So I don't know.
Dude, you hit it right on the nail, brother. That was perfect. Beautifully said. And
Awesome.
yeah, essentially macro content, guys. For those of you who are watching, whether you're live or on the replay, macro content is going to be those bigger pieces of content, typically higher production. Right? You don't want to film these with your smartphone. Okay. Sometimes they can be longer form, 10 minutes plus, but it doesn't have to be. All right. You can actually have, for example, my video business card, the video business cards that you can check out on our page. They're about 3 minutes long, but they're still considered macro content. The reason that they're considered macro content is because for that specific video, the message that we wanted to share, we filmed hours and hours and hours worth of content. We had testimonials from our clients. We had so much B-roll, so much storytelling, all these different elements that came together to make up this 3-minute video, right? But we had hours of content compressed into a 3-minute video. So what you do with that macro piece of content is you can take small little chunks of that, okay, and break it down into what we call micro content. Okay, so micro content is smaller, chewable chunks of content that you can post on your, social medias to give value either on a daily basis or twice a week, 3 times a week, whatever that looks like for you. But the main goal of it is to give value to your audience, but more importantly, to stay top of mind to your audience. Okay, a lot of you guys are business owners out there who solve problems. That's what we do as entrepreneurs. We solve problems. Not everyone that sees your video today might have a problem, but next week, maybe they have a problem that you can actually solve. And if you're posting that micro content consistently, you're always going to be top of mind. They're going to say, oh yeah, Patrick, I know I need to hit up Patrick because I've been seeing his content every single day. Last week, I didn't need it, but this week I do. Same with Delilah, right? Like, hey, I didn't know that I needed this, right?
Yeah.
But now the problem is evident, and now I need to take action on it. So the biggest goal of the micro content is to just present yourself daily through free value. You're not trying to sell through these micro contents. You're just trying to give value, show your expertise. And when someone is finally ready to purchase for you or purchase your services, I mean, you're going to be top of mind, and there's no doubt that they're going to reach out to you. So let me give you guys a few examples of what that looks like. Okay. Macro content Those are going to be videos, or it doesn't always have to be a video. We're video guys, so we like to talk video.
Mhm.
It's going to be that main video that you have like on the header of your website. Someone clicks on your website, that's going to be the first video. It's who you are, what you do, some testimonials in there. It's going to be the whole shebang. Okay. Another example can also be like a behind the brand video where you're showing more of that culture, of your brand. Testimonial videos are a really good example of macro content. And even further than a testimonial video, what we've seen that is much more powerful and that works extremely well for bringing in revenue is sharing a client story. Okay, it's not just a testimonial, but the actual story of a client that went from point A to point B through your solution. And that right there in itself is so powerful for those prospects who are searching for someone to help them out. They have the problem, they're looking for the solution. If they can relate and resonate to someone in that testimonial or that client story, there's a 9 out of 10 chance they're going to reach out to you and become a client. Okay. Yeah. Micro content on the other side. Thanks, Patrick. Micro content on the other side is going to be, again, those smaller, chewable chunks of content. Doesn't have to tell a whole story. Doesn't have to teach you how to go from point A to point B. It just has to show either a side of your personality, right? Because we know this as entrepreneurs and business owners, people like to do business with people, right? People don't like to do businesses with corporations or with big, Walmarts and this and that. Obviously, people like to shop at Walmart, but a lot of local people, especially here in Colorado Springs, which is the beautiful thing about living this city, is we like to support other local small businesses.
Yeah.
So people really want to. Go ahead, Patrick. Yeah.
I was just gonna say it's the experience is dealt with the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and people want to know that the person they're doing business with, the person that they're trusting to solve their problem, is a trustworthy person and someone they relate with and resonate with. So with that micro content, it can be something as simple as showing, another side of your family, right? Or of your life, like showing your family. If you have kids, you can kind of talk about a lesson you learned today, or more specifically when it comes to business, your specific business, you can teach a simple little tip. I have an example of a video I made just showing someone, or show my audience, how to clip a lav mic onto their shirt so they can get better audio. And that took me maybe 30 seconds to make, right? But so much value that was given from that one little video. And I still have people reaching out to me to this day from that one little video. So again, guys, those are really the two big differences: macro content, higher production, really good storytelling elements, strong call to action; micro content, smaller chewable chunks. And the main goal of it is to just be top of mind to your prospects, to your audience. So when they're finally ready to buy, you're the no-brainer choice.
Yeah. I love that. And real briefly, let's give a quick shout out here. Christian Patriarca, owner of Slice 420 Pizza, stopping by to say hello. Maximus Lemurian, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Christian.
He said, if I remember correctly, it's a frequency of at least 8 times a month to keep top of mind awareness. And maybe you guys have some more insight onto that. I had heard from the radio station that it takes an average of maybe 35 times before they start to remember your name. And then probably 10 to 15 times after that before they will remember. Do you guys have any insight in regards to that?
I love that. The 8 times a month, that's actually ideal. And that's where we like to start off a lot of our clients, is that twice a week. Really being able to put yourself out there 2 times a week is the start. In video form, right? Obviously, if you can do it daily, that's going to be so much better for you. But we all have lives. We have families. We have kids. We have work, jobs, businesses to run.
Right.
So it's not always possible to do that. But yes, was that Christian who said that, the twice a week?
That was Maximus. Yeah.
Maximus, dude, you were on the spot, brother. That's a great place to start. 8 times a month.
Yeah. And then I think I love this comment here from Delilah. Lots of science behind why we relate and retain stories more than anything else. Primitive brain stuff. She says, love that you guys are embracing this. So
absolutely. On the dot, Delilah. On the dot.
Yeah.
Yes, Delilah.
Yeah, so I'm excited, man. You guys bring so much energy. You bring so much positive vibes. A lot of times, like you talked about, people love who they work with, and that's why they continue to work with them versus, maybe a one and done or a turn and burn type deal. Before we move into Rob and his expert subject here, What are your guys' thoughts in regards to, maybe there's people who are on the cusp of thinking about business. Maybe there's people who are struggling with business. And Rob, just as much as I do, and especially in the real estate world,
Yeah.
4,800 realtors, most of them are going to be out within a year or two, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody who's watching this, because I connect with a lot of realtors, I connect with a lot of small and local business owners. Probably about 80% of what I do. The other 20% is actually the insurance world. But for
Mm-hmm.
people who are tuning in, who are looking for something better to separate themselves from the competition, or just to be able to have better content to tell their story, to give themselves an opportunity, what are some of those things that, as a group, would you guys say that they should start focusing on? Maybe they don't have the best equipment or the tech or the ability to maybe do some of those things. So people who are maybe on a budget, what are some tips and tricks that they can do?
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. When it comes to like tips and tricks and stuff like that, I think that may be part of some insights that Jay can share here once I'm done with this point. But what you were saying, Patrick, earlier about, especially about real estate, and about a competitive business world overall, really like any industry, has its competitiveness and its competition. One of the things that I would say to someone who's either struggling or starting would be that business is a lifetime sport. It's not something that you can kind of just go into it and maybe succeed sooner rather than later, but it's something that takes trial and error, because as much as there's multiple self-help books and like business books and all that stuff, there's no one really to tell you how to run your business. And that's kind of where that clarity comes in, and that purpose kind of fulfills itself. So to that first part of your statement, Patrick, what I would say someone to focus on or work on before they decide to start creating content is understanding that business is a lifetime sport, and that when you get clear on what it is that you want to do, or at least the way you feel you impact or feel impacted in yourself, that makes it all the more easier to actually share more about your story, and then therefore share your story through video content.
I love that. Persistence and failure, failing often, are the things I tell people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
What about Jay and Andrew? You guys got any takes on those?
Yeah, could you
Right,
do
Andrew.
the question one more time?
Yeah, basically, what advice would you have for somebody who's either new to business, maybe struggling in business, or for somebody who maybe doesn't have maybe a whole lot of funds to be able to dedicate, to something like maybe like a full video production? What are some other ways that they can still utilize social media to help, put themselves on even playing field?
Yeah. Okay. No, great question, and I see where you're going now. So I would say getting clear, kind of like what Rob was saying, on not only what you want to provide, but who you want to provide it to, and who your target audience is going to be one of the biggest things to provide clarity and know what type of service you want to offer. And then as far as marketing and branding yourself, it really depends on where and how you provide your service. Is your service done through online? Is your service done in person? Like how is it that you're able to provide and solve their problems? And so if you're on social media, or if you're on the online presence, then you have to be growing your social media every single day. And it's just all about, do you want to pay to get it done, or do you want to do the organic work to do it yourself? And starting small, it's so much better to start it yourself and really learn that, and go through that experience of online branding and talking to the internet. And so it's definitely the way to go when you're starting small and when you're starting everything out by yourself. But
I
yeah,
like that, man. Yeah,
that also helps too. What do you
definitely.
think, Joe?
Yeah, no, brother, that was great, Andrew. Yeah, and to kind of tie it all back together, there's a few things that I would share to people who are just starting out. They want to start creating content. They're on that budget. Because trust me, like that makes sense. We can resonate. We're fairly new to business as well, and we know at the beginning it's not easy to just invest in all this marketing and all this social media stuff, because you have so many things already going on in your
Yeah.
business. So like, trust me, we get it. One of the biggest things that, for those of you who don't know, my background and Andrew's and all of our background really, but fitness was a really big part of why I started video, and what kind of essentially made us start video. So I got certified as a personal trainer, nutrition specialist, and I was heavily involved within the fitness industry before we started this company. One of the biggest things that I always used to like to share to, people who would walk into the gym who are maybe looking to work out, right? They want to, gain muscle, get summer ready, whatever that looks like to them. Even, something serious. Some people want to have kids and, different types of stuff that fitness plays such a huge role into. I would share with them that having a professional at begin and start is very, very important. And I think we all know this by now that in 2020, all the information you can ever think of, it's out there already. It's on YouTube, it's on Google. You could find all this stuff, right? But having a little bit of structure at the beginning and some guidance to kind of help you get to where you want to be is very, very essential for long-term success. And I say this, from experience. When I first started working out, that's exactly what I did. Is I went on YouTube, I went on Google, and I started finding all these different workout plans to try to get myself, to the goal that I had at the time. And it ties into what we're doing here, because if I had just had a coach to help me out at the beginning for the first month, the first 2 months, to kind of get me rolling and help me understand what my body does, in this term, what my social media should look like and how I can get closer to my goals, and just help me out at the beginning, not forever, but just teach me how to do it myself so that I can now take this information and use it for the rest of my life. Because social media and marketing is something that you're going to need to do for the rest of your business's life. It's not like you can just do it one video or do it for a month, hire a production team, whatever, and never have to do it again. No, this is something that's very consistent. And that's exactly why, we started the group and we're transitioning a little bit to help people learn how to do this themselves. Okay. Because if you plan to continue thriving, especially after what's happened, in the past few months with COVID and everything switching online, it's extremely important that you learn how to do this for yourself, especially if you're a small business owner. Right. And there are so many free resources out there. And again, we also have a free resource that we provide to help educate people on this. But it's really important to find a person or a group of people that you resonate with, you relate with, and that you can learn from and have that structure in place. We've all heard of the term too many chefs in the kitchen. And if you're going on Google and YouTube and finding information here, or there, it could be overwhelming, and it can really confuse you and take away from having that clarity in your business. So that's the number one thing I would definitely say, is find a little bit of guidance at the beginning. There's so many free resources out there. Just find one and learn how to do this yourself. Okay. Don't outsource it to your high school niece or nephew. And number two, if you do want to start creating content immediately, okay, and like right now, you see all of us, we're on the live. Someone said, yes, I think it was Maximus. He said, yes, film with your smartphone. Don't be ashamed of iPhone content. Absolutely, guys. Film with your iPhone. Right now, we're all filming with our phones. Patrick, I believe you're on your phone too, right, brother?
Actually, I've got a webcam, but yeah. So, but I mean, I just use what I have, right? I mean,
exactly.
I've got a headset. I don't have a fancy microphone. You know what I mean? So
yes, guys, yes. And the biggest takeaway that we can share with you right now, they will immediately step up the appearance of your content. Okay, is the lighting. So if you can see right now, all of us have different colors in the background. All of us have, little tiny things that just make the smartphone content, iPhone content, just look a little bit better, a little bit more professional. And that can go a long way. If you don't have lights, which, guys, this little red bulb, let me see, where is it? Right here. This little red bulb right here was like $3 at Walmart. And it like shows that red light in the back, right? If you don't have that, then I would highly recommend, if you want to start right now, film outside. Okay, go out there, use the natural lighting, that sun, have nature in the background. We live in Colorado. At least most of us here in this group live in Colorado. There's so much beautiful scenery out there that people will be able to, again, relate with, because if they also live in Colorado, you have a video with Garden of the Gods in the background, people are going to relate with that immediately and be like, oh man, these guys are local, or this company is local. So if you guys don't have the budget, don't stress about it. Learn how to do it yourself. I cannot express that enough.
Yeah.
And then if you want to start immediately with your phone, film outside or get some decent lighting.
Yeah, definitely. Denise had some really great points. She said that she bought like a little ring light for her phone. It cost her $6.
Nice.
I have a ring light here, from when I was streaming, you know what I mean? So, definitely, I mean, you don't have to have a huge budget, to get started. Obviously, when you get to that point, when you do, and you want to go big, then you really need to start mapping out your macro and micro content. These guys are a great resource to be able to help with that, and everything. So yeah, and Maximus and Denise, thank you guys so much. You guys are providing some great insights as well. I want to move forward here with getting Rob's expertise in messaging scripting. I know that this is something that I've kind of always done with my business, and it's always evolving. It's always something that you have to change. Sometimes you have to design it certainly to fit different people and needs. But, you know, being somebody who had no way of generating leads, it was basically reaching out to people. So I know that you guys do this quite often, and you guys interact with a lot of small businesses and stuff like that. But yeah, Rob, tell us, you know, a little bit more in regards to that.
Yes. Thank you, Patrick. Thanks for passing the baton. And I mean, you were right on too, brother. Like, it's something that sometimes needs to be changed or at least fine-tuned as you go about and figuring out your message. Before I give my spiel completely, I see we have a couple people live here. I think we have 12 people. Thank you to the guys who keep engaging in this content.
Yes,
So if you could comment below what you think messaging is all about, what do you think it is? Like, what do you know about it? And then just it would help us know what you guys think about it. And then, you know, we love to share opinion. So I'm gonna go ahead and let people comment that as I kind of get into it. The way that we teach messaging, Patrick, and the way that we go about messaging is that messaging is such a huge part of brand, right? Because brand is what people think about you, right? So like this was a very good analogy that came on recently. It was through social media that I saw, and this guy said, marketing is like inviting your friend over for dinner, and branding is the reason why he or she said yes. Okay.
I love that.
And then, you know, and then them going to the dinner and eating, that's like closing it, right? You know, if you were to continue the analogy. And so messaging is such a huge important part about video content or written copy or anything at all, because it's what makes people have some type of persona or identification for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of get into some of the biggest mistakes that people do when it comes to messaging and branding. In our experience, we've really seen two big problems. The first one is especially when people start. When people start and they start talking about like their videos, right? Like someone maybe here after this live just kind of whips out their phone, and you know they're inspired and they're going to start talking. You know, they may start and they may feel really strong, and then they maybe don't end as strong. And the reason for that sometimes is that people are not very good at getting to the point for whatever their message is. And that's like a huge part about it. I mean, some of the biggest companies now, they have the shortest slogans, right? Like Nike, just do it, right? And there's a bunch of other examples like that. But the essential of this is to get to the point and not waste time. And that's the reason why you want to get to the point, is because you don't want to waste people's time. You don't want to waste their time watching a video that's not constructed very well. And then you also don't want to waste your own time producing a video that's not structured and constructed very well. So that's why messaging messaging is so huge on that. So that's one of the issues about that. One of the other themes we've been talking about on this live is storytelling. And Patrick, I think you know we're huge on storytelling. And anybody who's into marketing or sales or networking or anything should get really good at storytelling if they're not good at storytelling already. And so when it comes to branding, it's also all about storytelling. You know, it's really, really easy for us to remember characters from our favorite movies from 10 years ago than it was remembering what we did yesterday at like 2 p.m., right? It's because the storytelling aspect of things really stick to us. It really sticks in the brain, and it just makes it unforgettable. So messaging is all about storytelling. And when people understand storytelling, they can get better at messaging, but sometimes people don't even understand storytelling in itself. And the biggest tip that I can give for someone trying to understand storytelling, especially when it comes to business, is figuring out who is who in the business world, right? Who are the characters in the business world? So some of the biggest characters or main characters that we know in movies are the hero, the guide, and like the villain, right? And so sometimes people can confuse what the characters are when it comes to business. And to give you guys like a quick tip on that, essentially the hero is always the customer, right? The hero is always the customer. It's not the business itself. And that's like where people gonna get into it. They're like, oh, I have the best insurance agency, I have the best videography company, the best landscaping company. No, it should be, we have the best clients and we help them, through our products and services. And that positions you as the guide in the story.
Can we just pause real quick while everybody's mind is blown right now? Every single business owner is sitting there thinking like, damn, I've been going about this wrong. I was the hero, I thought, right? And really, it does, because ultimately it comes down to your clients and how they talk about you, who they're talking you to. I just got one of my biggest referral leads here because I had a client basically talk me up. And so he's one of the biggest realtors here in Colorado Springs. So, it's little things like that. You know what I mean? Being able to showcase that. So anyway, man, I just wanted to let you know that you just blew my mind. I'm sure like everybody sitting here watching this probably thinking like, yeah, the hero, man, I'm the hero. I'm like, no, you're not the hero. So that was fantastic, man. Perfect explanation breakdown, says Scott Sealy. Thank you so much, Scott, for tuning in. Good to see you, my man. Denise, it's important when messaging, you want to reach out and have something to add to that. I agree. One of the things that I learned from this guy named Bob Landry, is a realtor here. He basically uses an acronym called HARK, have a reason to call. And so if you see something, especially if you have a client where it's a repeat, constant connection, have a reason to call, find a reason to call. And David Skrivanik, I hope I didn't butcher that name too bad. He says, I've gotten a few clients from reaching out to people. It doesn't always work, but it always leads to new opportunities. I would agree with that 1,000%. And, was it Dave Reinmuth, I think? Basically said, I have a message for you guys. You rock. So, guys, Scott.
Scott, thanks, Scott. Appreciate you, buddy.
So again, thank you guys for tuning in here. You guys are getting gold here, and I know that we're going a little bit over. I hope that's okay with you guys. But yeah, Rob, again, I just want to take a moment just to kind of acknowledge the people who were leaving some great comments and all that stuff. But go ahead and continue, man. Sorry.
Yes, no, thank you, Patrick. I'm really glad that resonated too with you, brother, and everyone in the comment section. Denise, Maximus, Delilah, Scott, thank you guys so much for your comments, and I really hope that this helped you guys out too. So to close the chapter on the storytelling aspect of it, so I mentioned the two biggest characters so far, or some of the biggest characters, the hero and then also the guide, right? And as the business owner, we are the guide, and we we solve people's problems through our products and services, and therefore they get the desired result. So I'm pretty sure that's clear now. The other misconception that people have sometimes is, who is the villain? Right? Who is the villain in the story? And the villain, with people who don't know storytelling that much, or they can't express it as well, is usually like the competition, or like somebody else, that's ripped them off in the past or something like that, and then when you're sharing your message with people, and Patrick, we've actually had a conversation before about this, what happens when someone says something good about you behind your back, and also what it means when someone says something not so good about you behind your back, right? I don't know if you remember that conversation.
Yep.
It's exactly the same thing when you're sharing your story, and your prospect or your consumers of your content, they feel that as well. So the villain, when you're throwing shade at like another landscaping company, I not keep using landscaping for example, but another company of the same trade, that definitely throws shade. So the actual villain is the problem that you're solving. And that way you never take the distraction, or you never take the attention away to another company or to something negative that's outside of your control. Instead, the villain is in your control. It's the problem that you solve.
I love that. Yeah,
so I hope that made sense. Yeah.
No, I think that's great, because how often do people end up with their foot in their mouth and maybe burning relationships or bridges because of something that maybe they said or something that they did, or just a simple fact that, and this was kind of my take too, and I think that maybe you guys know this, maybe you don't, but the whole reason for the creation for the Something for Everything Facebook group was really is because I saw some good things in a different group, but I didn't see a lot of action, right? And so I got to the point where maybe I was almost judging, And so I didn't like that feeling of worrying about what other people were doing. So what I did was I decided to take action and do something myself to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I think having that approach and having the clarity to think that way versus kind of getting caught saves me a lot of headaches, saves me a lot of time. But also now I can say that, you know what, and I challenge you guys, you guys, other people who are watching, if your mindset is to be able to think of maybe competition first or to see what other people are doing and maybe you feel like you can do it better, then do it. Because I promise you the results are going to yield much better results by you doing that versus you talking or you bad mouthing somebody or something like that. So yeah.
No, that's spot on. I think it was Louis Valencia who said this, or I saw it on one of the stories. He said there's no such thing as a $1 million idea, just $1 million execution. You know?
Love that.
So, and exactly. So awesome. And then, I know we are getting closer, a little bit further than we planned, but to finish up and to give you guys some other tips for the storytelling aspect. So I hope you guys all understand storytelling now, getting to the point, not wasting time. Messaging is all about storytelling and who is who in the business world, right? The hero, the guide, and the villain. So when people figure this out, then the next problem comes into consistency and how to consistently be able to follow the same storyline and to how to continue to essentially offer the same messaging sequence without being inconsistent or without being incongruent or without being inauthentic, right? So, and that's actually where to everybody who commented below, #CultureMediaCoaching, this is exactly what that's going to solve. Is the structure, and that's what we're offering. We're offering a free structure on how to actually do this consistently. So anybody who watched this live, oh, sorry, I think that was my AirPods, they may be dying. Anybody who's watching this live, now knows about storytelling. So then they're like, so how do I actually apply this? So that's, where once you guys get into the group, you're actually able to see that asset as well as other assets that we offer. But essentially what you want to do is you want to have some type of structure. And there's a certain way, Patrick, I know you've seen our videos. There's a certain way that all of us start our videos, right? There's a certain way we started. There's a certain way we transition into the value that we want to offer. And then there's a certain way that we recap it and package it in a product that people can consume, learn from, be entertained, and take value from. And so that's what's really important once you know storytelling is how to actually execute that and how to actually do it over and over and over again. And so, if you guys have further questions on that aspect and how to do that, the Facebook group that we created, Brand with Video, is exactly where you guys could do that. So anybody that commented below, #CultureMediaCoaching, one of us three here will directly message you with the link to be able to get into that.
Yeah, and I promise you guys do not want to miss that content. I mean, I've spent time with all of these guys individually as a group. They're all incredible individually and even more dynamic as a group in what they do. And I promise you, you guys will not be disappointed with that. So again, make sure that you're commenting #, what was it, Culture Media
Coaching.
Culture Media Coaching, #, that so you can go ahead and get invited to the group. There's the branding has been at the bottom too, facebook.com/brandwithvideo. You can also do a request. As far as I know, as Andrew says that you guys are waiting to have a big launch with that. So if you apply to get in and you haven't got in immediately, do not worry. They have something big planned and upcoming. So just know that we're all kind of in anticipation with this waiting list, myself included. I don't get any special treatment. Guys, in closing, this is kind of a question that we've been asking everyone here. And I like this question because it definitely just kind of gives true insight to a lot of people. But it's assuming that there was no setbacks, nothing with money, time, all those things, what does your ideal situation look like? Whether it be with your current business or is there something else that you have a big passion for? What does that look like for you guys individually? And just kind of go in reverse order here. We'll go Rob, Jay, and Andrew.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you. And I love that question actually. And if you do that as a finale question every time, that's awesome. That offers lots of personal insight. Collectively, I think one of the things that makes us powerful is that we are able to essentially share a brain to some extent. And what I mean by that is that we all have our uniqueness and our own interests, but it doesn't take more than one conversation ever in our entire business experience and our entire relationship as more than just partners, is that after one conversation, we're on the same page because we all want something very similar, right? Which is to serve and to help the world in more ways than one. So, you know, culture media, the way we see it, man, is, and I definitely want to let everyone kind of give their take on it too, but we see culture media growing on two different sides, like hugely on two different sides. One would be still on the video production side because we've realized that, you know, now that we want to help people create their own content and stuff like that, there's still so many people out there that have to solve these huge problems, especially for bigger businesses, and that content is the way to do it. And you know, that's a completely different like audience, a completely different identity. You know, like a top level executive who just needs to put a team in place to take care of that. That's a problem that we want to solve. That's an audience that we want to serve. And so that's one way that we definitely see the company growing. The other way would be for the other audience that's maybe not there yet, you know, that maybe they're not pulling in, you know, a certain revenue that allows them to continue growing their team. Maybe they're, you know, a solopreneur who is somewhat established outside of the online world and needs help transitioning that into the online world. And you got to start that yourself sometimes, especially if you don't understand anything about it. It's very good understanding it, you know, getting some skin in the game a little bit, and then, you know, later scaling and grow into a bigger team. But serving those people in the numbers higher, more than likely, than the numbers that we serve for people who we just take care of that for them. You know, one passion that we all have together is we love changing lives. That's why, like, we're doing it together. We realize together we change more lives than apart. And so continuing to change more lives in the masses, in the high numbers, as a group, as a team, showing people that teamwork like is real, it's still alive, you know, and that, you know, you can find other like-minded people and build a bigger team around you. So to go full circle, you know, that's the two areas where I see the company growing, both on the production side as well as the coaching side, helping some of those people who are just starting getting into it because they need the help too.
Perfect. I love that, man. Can I just say how eloquent you are in speaking, Rob? Like, you just have a great delivery.
Oh,
he
man.
is, and he gets your buy-in immediately. You could just see the passion in it and everything, man.
Thanks so much, man.
No, dude, I definitely foresee you like doing just all of you guys together doing a huge things, you know. And this is why I was so excited to have you guys on here. I mean, again, you guys are doing big things, and I'm just happy to be a part of it, be a part of your circle and whatnot. So, again, thank you guys so much for making the time. Jay, what about you, man? What are I know you've talked about some things that you've been passionate about with health and fitness and stuff like that, but you know, for you, if you had nothing exactly like to hold you back, you know, and again, not to say that, you know, the business couldn't be a part of it or whatever, but again, if you just basically had to spit something out, what is your dreams? What are your passion? What would be your ideal situation, man?
Yeah, dope. Patrick, thank you for that question, brother. And yeah, Rob, dude, killed it, man. Always.
Because I'm surrounded by you guys.
That's good. Yeah, man. No, thank you, guys. Yeah, I mean, really just tying into what Rob said, brother. It's a big vision of ours, where we're already heading, you know, already taking the steps to get there. But the biggest one is taking the coaching side of our business to new heights, and just being able to help entrepreneurs, help small business owners who don't know how to manage their social media, don't know how to create content, but they know they need to be doing it. And we just want to help teach them so that they can continue to do it for the rest of their lives. Like we said, this is, you know, marketing, online marketing, social media. It's not something that can just be a one and done. Mm-hmm. It has to be a long-term commitment to your business to be able to do this, you know, essentially for the rest of your business's lives. So we want to be those the people that can come in and say, hey, you know, let's help you. Let's guide you. Let's show you how to set these systems in place. Let's show you how to, you know, create content, whether it's with your smartphone or with a $5,000 camera, right? Let's take you through those different levels until you can, you know, continue to market yourself and share your message through video, because that's really why we started doing the video thing all together, Patrick, is because we realized that if we just stayed here, you know, doing, you know, in Colorado Springs and just working with people, there's only a certain amount of people we can help. right? But by putting out video content and reaching to people online, there's billions and billions of people that we can help and relate to them and connect with them and help them get their message across. So ultimately, the big vision is to, yes, continue on the production side and to help those big corporations and those big companies that want to get to the next level on their end, right, on their scale, but then also to help those small business owners, those solopreneurs who already have so much going on, but we're going to show them an easier way to make that transition from, fully brick and mortar business to that online space, and guiding them throughout the way, not letting them feel alone or overwhelmed, and letting them know that yeah, there's we're here to help. So
nice. I love it, man.
Well said too, Jay.
All right, Money, your turn.
Where do I begin? These guys took all the words right out of my mouth.
Hey, we said the best for last, man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, these guys said the most. So I'd just like to start off with a quote. I mean, that kind of just describes our relationship and our teamwork here at Culture Media. And that's, alone you can go fast, but together, you can go far. And that's just the difference. It's like, how far do you really want to go, and do you really want to scale your business? And we all three talk about the big dreams that we have. So definitely not going to be doing that alone. And it's a team that's gonna, we're gonna work with each other and build with each other and grow with each other. And at the same time, we all have some different ideas of just like hobbies and some other side ventures that we want to get into as well. Just kind of like once this is more automated and stuff. So it's definitely something that we talk about, as well as how big do we want to grow this, and what's something else that we want to try and get into.
I love it. That's cool, man. You guys are an inspiring group for sure. Again, I'm proud to be part of your circle and vice versa. You guys bring so much wealth wherever you go. I've seen it, witnessed it in person. I think, I'm happy to be able to showcase that live today, with a lot of people who maybe didn't know about you guys. But again, as I said from the beginning, from day one when I met you guys, just you guys deserve a lot more, and it's coming, and I think that just to know that I'm a part of that journey, I look forward to the growth and to see where you guys go next. And, at some point in time, we'll definitely connect on some projects and stuff like that. But I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Guys, tomorrow we will be live with Brittany Edwards. She is the owner of Decadent Coffee and Dessert Bar. Incredible story, incredible journey. But again, if you guys are a business owner, if you guys liked what you see here, if you enjoyed the content, definitely reach out. You got Rob, Jay, and Andrew, Culture Media on Facebook, Culture Media Productions, and then also join that Facebook group, facebook.com/brandwithvideo. Get plugged in, enjoy these learning opportunities while these guys have the time, because I promise you it won't be very long that they're going to be able to offer these things without having a price tag tied to it, and that's just kind of how growth works, but even then it'll still be worth the time to be able to do that. But again, make sure you guys get plugged in, connect with these guys. If you're looking to expand or grow the business, these are the guys that will help you bring that vision together. And last but not least, guys, quick question for you here. What would be if a business is deciding, maybe between going with a videographer or maybe going in a traditional route of maybe paying for marketing? What are, basically what would you suggest in terms of an advocate being on the videographer side?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a great question. The unfortunate thing that we all can relate to, a lot of people out there who are trying to get into social media, marketing and all that stuff, is that there are so many people who say they're about marketing and that they know marketing, and really they don't, definitely, fortunately we've never, had a bad situation or a bad partnership or anything like that, but there's plenty of marketing companies out there that say they do social media management and stuff like that, and that's really not the case. When you're spending money on marketing and social media, that's investing money. And like the number one rule of investing is never invest in something you don't understand. Right?
Yep.
So actually understanding how it is that the video works, or how it is that social media works, how it is that profile optimization and engagement and reach out, how all that works is very, very crucial at the beginning. Because if you don't understand how that works, then you're putting your money and your faith and your trust in somebody else that maybe doesn't understand it. But if you understand it, and then afterwards you want to hire a team or something like that, or hire either like an outside team or build your own team to do it, that makes all the difference if you're actually a bit more educated from the beginning. So what I would say is vet for sure. Make sure that people actually know what they're talking about, and that they have the social proof. I know that there's a good example actually, that I think Jay was the one who put this into words. He said, some people are like the fat personal trainer. And I'm gonna let Jay finish that analogy, because he came up with it and he probably could say it better than I do. But it's essentially putting your money where your mouth is and actually having the results that you're telling people that you can get. So we can't expect people to reach out to us for video if we don't have the videos that we say, the engagement that we say these videos can get. So that credibility aspect to it as well. So just vetting and understanding what it is that you're investing in. That's probably the tips that I would give someone.
Love it.
Love, man. Yeah. Just to kind of add to that, yeah, dude. I mean, it's like I wouldn't trust an insurance guy who didn't have insurance, right? I wouldn't trust a car salesman who doesn't have his own car. It's just about practicing what you preach. And so the advice that I would give out to anyone who's looking into getting at videography, online marketing, and just growing their online presence is to do your research. I mean, seriously, do your research. Make sure you understand what it is that you're getting into, the result that you're looking to get. That's probably the number one thing. Know the result you're looking to get, and then find someone who has that same result, and then they most likely would help you out with that. Okay, because we all know that there's a lot of people who like to talk. They like to talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. So it's really important that you find someone who has the results that you're looking for, and to do the research before you get into that. So that's what I would like to share about that.
Thank you.
No, you guys, I'm going last here and taking all the good sayings out of my mouth. So let me leave with one last analogy, right? You don't go to someone who drives a Toyota Corolla and ask them how to buy a Lamborghini. You just don't do that. You talk to someone who owns exotic cars and say, how did you get this, right? So it's about going to the right source, making sure they are exactly like everyone else is saying, the real deal. And then that's what like Rob said, that's when it's a good investment, because it's not necessarily a cost. It's an investment that's going to have a return for you when it's done correctly.
Right. Oh, perfect. Man, you guys killed it today. Thank you so much. As we end the broadcast, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
thank you, brother.
No, man,
Dude,
you guys, it's been a pleasure. Guys, thank you so much. If you enjoyed the content, I did drop the link for YouTube so you can catch the replay. You can also subscribe to the channel, as we're going to be bringing on more and more people. I think right now we're scheduled through the end of June at least, and a lot more people coming in here. So, just trying to make sure that the people that we bring in, that their story, it's valid, and that you're getting good content. So, thank you guys for your time. Big shout out to Culture Media Productions and their time. And guys, again, make sure you connect with them. We'll be back live tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching Stories Worth Telling.